Hi all, I'm Dan Smigrod, founder of the We Get Around Network Forum. Today is Wednesday, November 15th, 2017, and we're just about 3 or 4 minutes away from beginning our live show. So if you're catching this on YouTube, please just simply fast forward about 3 or 4 minutes to the top of the show. Apologize for the feedback, but that we actually do that to make sure that the sound's working. I end up doing that twice. So anyway, if you forgive me while I do a little bit of copying and pasting to get our feed live in the We Get Around Network forum, that'll take me a moment. Almost there. It's kind of a low-tech operation, and then we'll hit submit and check out the forum, We Get Around Network forum. And I need to hit another button. So anyway, we'll get started in about 3 or 4 minutes. If you want to just fast forward, that's terrific. I know that's kind of low tech in terms of not editing the heads and tails, but the final video actually ends up on Vimeo. Okay. Great. So we just did the sound check there. Hey all, I'm Dan Smigrod, founder of the We Get Around Network Forum. Today is Wednesday, November 15th, 2017, and we're just about 3 minutes away from live at 5. Excuse me, on today's program, we're going to be unboxing an ION360U. It's a 360 photo video camera that's coming up. But I did want to tell you first about tomorrow's program, WGAN-TV Live at 5. We're going to have the co-founder of iGuide, also known as Planetar, but the co-founder of iGuide Camera System, Kevin Clegg, is going to be with us. And iGuide camera system is a Matterport alternative, and sometimes Matterport's the right solution for people. Sometimes the iGuide is, and we're going to see if we can understand from Kevin who's the right person for iGuide and what's it all about. I think certainly one of the questions I'm going to ask him about is shooting large spaces, because I noticed in the We Get Around Network forum, we have a tremendous number of members that are posting about scanning large spaces, even up to 90,000 square feet, which is somewhat beyond the scale and the scope of what I think Matterport is practical for. And I'll probably ask Kevin that question about, how do you feel, about scanning or shooting a space that's 90,000 square feet, and maybe we can ask them to maybe do some comparison to Matterport. For most of us, that's probably our benchmark, is to say, I'm thinking about buying Matterport, but I've heard of an alternative. Why should I consider the alternative, or decide that Matterport's the right solution for you? So just about a minute away from our show today. WGAN TV Live at 5. It's top of the hour. That's Greenwich Mean Time -5. A lot of interest in the forum on related to AutoCAD, scanning large spaces. There's the discussion going on, VRBO, Airbnb, HomeAway, and yet other related vacation rental platforms. I know that topic has come up quite often in the We Get Around Network forum. It's kind of a pain point for all of us, because we really do want to be able to use Matterport for vacation rentals and to have it easily, seamlessly integrate with platforms like VRBO, Airbnb, HomeAway. So if you have an opinion on that, please do kind of weigh in on that discussion. So let's see. We're just moments away. If you give me a moment, I'll get a sip of water, and we'll get started with today's show. And and I wanted something else here. Might need that. Maybe we'll need a credit card. So we're just about to get started, so thanks for your patience. And let's go over here. Got one more thing to do. 5, 4, Hi all, I'm Dan Smigrod, founder of the We Get Around Network Forum. Today is Wednesday, November 15th, 2017, and you're watching WGAN-TV live at 5. Our topic today is unboxing an ION360U, and I love it when camera companies send me free stuff, and so this is one of the latest cameras that I've gotten. ION360, this is actually the U version. Transform your camera into a 360 camera. And let's see, this one says for Apple iPhone 7 Plus, but I asked them, I said, I have an 8 Plus. Will it work on my 8 Plus? And they said yes. So I'll show you that. And let's see, nothing too much there, a little disclaimer. You kind of have a sense of the camera there. There's actually a case that doubles as a charger for the phone, and then the camera snaps on top, and we'll do that. So I think we got the box kind of covered, and I don't know what that is, a small print of some sort. Okay, cool. So anyway, I did say that this is I'm going to use it on an iPhone 8 Plus. They do make a version, I want to say, for Samsung phones specifically as well. So their website, ION360.com. And so anyway, let's see if we can open this. I took it out of the, probably came by, I don't even remember if it came by FedEx or UPS. It's got a couple places to seal this nice box. So I'm going to try and open it. Okay, got that piece open. Or do you like holiday wrapping where you try not to, mess it up? I just don't want to mess up the box if I don't have to for some reason. So, all right, we got a little sticker off, and I'm trying to do the unpackaging here. And I'm actually going to set it up and see if we can shoot some pictures. So now the box hopefully will slide out. Hopefully, there it comes. Okay, so there's that box. We'll put that to the side. Again, this is the ION 360. So nicely packaged, clean, simple. That's cool. And that felt actually pretty cool. There may even be a magnet there. That was kind of neat. So I've just opened it up. Looks like it comes in 2 parts. So let's see if we can. Packaging is getting so nice and innovative in terms of how pretty that is. Okay, so that's our case. Let's pull that out. It's got some other things in there too. So you can see this is a case that will go around my iPhone. It's got a place to charge it because this doubles as a battery for the phone and a battery for the camera. So that's kind of cool. Let's see if I can turn that over for you, see if there's anything of interest there. So you can see right there is where it will connect to my iPhone. There's that charging piece and some other things there. It's a good question. I actually don't know what it is that I would put there, but I guess we'll figure that out. Maybe that's part of charging. I think that's really where I'm going to charge it. So I'm not exactly sure what that is, but that's interesting. Okay. So let's see what else it comes with. Let's see. Little quick instructions. Let me hold that up. So that's actually telling us how to snap the camera into the case. That looks pretty straightforward. And see, I'm trying to pull this out a little bit harder. This looks like a little instruction book. Live in the Wow. That's pretty cool for 360. So, and then let's see what we got. We have a book that's about warranties, and then it looks like we have another whole book that's about warranties in yet a different language. And yep, this is, let's see if I can open this up. I haven't even gotten all the pieces of the camera out yet. And it looks like it's in a bazillion languages, but let's see. So there's a diagram there, which is kind of telling you what all the parts are. So this is good. Maybe I can figure out what I would call a port on the camera. So I'm looking at the case and see if I can figure this out. So number 7, that's in French and Spanish. So let's see if we can go over here for 7. Not going to be as easy as I thought. I have probably 1,000 languages here. So I'm looking for English. Looking for English. Don't see English there. Let me turn it over. And 7. Ah, here it is. So sorry. It's in so many languages, it just keeps repeating and repeating. So 7 is the reset button. So let's see if I can find that. So I guess that's that little teeny hole in there where you kind of put a paper clip and reset. Okay, got that. Number 6, let's see, is a battery button. I know what that is. Now I'm looking for the top of it. And no, this would be the bottom. So it's like that. So 5 is the case battery light indicator. So that little thing that looks a different color, maybe it's an inch long, that is the indicator. And then right below that is a battery button. So we'll try that. And then below that was that reset button. And surprisingly, it doesn't tell me what that other port is. And that one actually is for charging. And it doesn't tell me, I got it. I still have to snap another piece of the camera onto it. And that's what that piece at the top is. Okay, so I think I've overthought it. But it's like all these pieces of paper actually just tell me 7 things. The front fisheye lens. Oh, actually, I want to know what that is. That's a really important thing, and I'll explain why in a moment. But the front fisheye lens is 1. In fact, let me pull it out of the box. I haven't even done that yet. I still got more pieces in the box. So here's the other part of the box. Let's open that. And there we go. And so you can see up here is actually the camera portion. And they do have some nice peel off on the fisheye lenses to keep them clean. So that's very nice. And then there is a charging cable. So that's good. Glad to have yet another charging cable. This is the case. Let's see, hold it up like that for the camera portion of it. And then let me just make sure I have everything else out of the box. So nothing up my sleeve. Box is empty. Isn't that nice? I like that box. Okay, so let me try putting this on my phone. So I have my phone here. I already have a case on my phone. So I'm going to take my case off. I'm going to attempt to take my case of my phone off. Wouldn't that be horrible? I get all the way into doing a demo and I can't figure out how to get my case off. So there, I got it, and I'll just show you that. So I managed to free up my existing case, nothing fancy schmancy, just the regular little protective thing for my iPhone 8 Plus. So there's my iPhone 8 Plus, and I'm going to snap the camera in here. So I was just going to make sure I've lined up the bottom of the camera in here. So this is really important because I want to make sure I don't break something. And so that fit nice and snugly. And now I'm going to, I don't know if I can show you that, I'm going to snap the case on. And so that actually felt good, and that's kind of reassuring because, again, the phone I'm using is an iPhone 8 Plus, and the box actually said iPhone 7 Plus, but I was assured by the company that iPhone 8 Plus is just fine. Okay, so that feels nice and snug. Then I'm going to take the camera itself. And so there are those holes that I was talking about. I didn't quite know what they were for, but they actually line up with the camera. So I'm going to put the camera on top of, and I think it should actually snap. So it actually, it feels good. It feels like it's on. So that's good. And then it's got these little protective pieces of plastic. I'm going to pull those off. See, I don't even think you could see that. Can you see that okay? It's hard to see. It's kind of a little, there's a little tab to pull it off. Let me see if I can get that okay. Just trying to be careful of the lenses. Okay, so it's just itty bitty clear something over the lens. Then now I wanted to know what actually, this was actually interesting because on a 360 camera, the question is, you know, what is facing forward? And so it actually said that here. So the front, and because there was another camera that I was using and I couldn't tell, you know, what was the front of the 360 camera. And it turns out that's important because if I'm walking with the camera, am I taking a picture of myself or am I taking a picture of what's in front of me? And I want to be able to consciously make a decision of what I think is kind of like the starting image, so that if I'm walking, I think you probably want to see where I'm walking, not necessarily be looking back. That'd be like walking backwards. And I think you probably want to walk forwards. So that's an important thing for me. So it says front fisheye lens is number 1. And let's see if I can actually, I want to say that's 1, but I just want to kind of like double check. It's interesting. So yeah, so that's 1. What is number 4 is a microphone. That's cool. Where is the microphone? God, this is just a mystery for me. Oh, the microphone, it says 4, is actually what connected. That was the thing that connected to the iPhone. So it was somehow connecting the microphone. I don't know if there's like a place that I would talk. Somehow there's 2 buttons on the side. Let me see if I can figure those out. Yes, that's it. The microphone is on the side and it looks like there's might be 2 of them. So let's check the other side. Nope, one is a power button with LED. So right here it says power button, or the instructions say power button. Let's see if I hold that up. Can't see that, can you? Let's see. Yep, now you can see it's like a power button. So let's press that, just see if anything happens. I would imagine it comes not charged, so I'm not expecting anything actually to happen. But you know, down here at the bottom is a power button, so I'm going to press that and see if that does anything. I don't hear anything. Let's try it again. So I'm pressing the, you can't see it because it's the exact opposite. I'm pressing the power button. I don't see the light going on. So I think what I'm going to do for a moment is just pull out a cable. And I'm probably doing this a little bit wrong, so just bear with me. I'm taking the cable that came with it because it looks like it might have some resistor on it that's probably better than just using my regular cable to charge. I'm sure somebody could comment on that, of like why you'd want to use this thing when charging your camera as opposed to any cable. Well, that's interesting. It's just sliding. I don't know if that's doing anything different or not. I have no idea what that is. Maybe the instructions will tell me. It's got some kind of something. Just I literally have no idea what that is. So so I think what that says to me is I'm not going to worry about that doesn't seem to be anything different than my charger that I already have here. So let's plug that in. So we got a little Christmas tree effect going there. It looked like it was telling me that it was connected. So I imagine it's now probably, yep, I just heard the charge. So this is kind of cool. You know, I'm an Apple fanboy, and what the cable I have is actually to charge a Samsung phone that I have. And so now I am using the whatever that connector is called, and I'm literally charging my iPhone with that cable because the battery is on the is wrapped around the phone, and so the iPhone is charging and the battery is charging, I would say, simultaneously. And I see that it's flashing a light, but it doesn't go up to the top of it. So I would imagine that when it's fully charged, it would probably be, I'm guessing, a solid white filling that spot there, and that I could also look at the battery. So it's a good question. Bear with me one second. Let me get a sip of water here. Anyway, so I'm going to unlock my phone. I did already pre-install the ION360 app. So, and the company actually sent me a beta version of hardware earlier. So hopefully this all kind of works, because they sent me the beta ION360U hardware, and that was running through some test flight app and some other things. So hopefully I'm not messing myself up, because I've previously have loaded the app. Hopefully the app just magically kind of works with this camera. So far so good. I am now at the My Content screen, and I did previously shoot some content. So let's just see, let's kind of learn together, because it's been a while since I've had this camera anyway. And I'm going to click on the icon that says photo, and please attach or turn on the camera. So let's try that button again up at the top. And yep, now that I'm charging it, and the side of the camera is showing that the power, I press the power button here. I now have power, and now it says please attach or turn on the camera. So it just shut off. It wouldn't surprise me that there's not enough charge in the device yet that it will do anything. So I think if it turns off, then it'll turn off, and we'll just have to continue this another day until I've charged up the phone. But I think what I'm going to try and do here is shoot a 360 photo. Okay. And then I'm going to try and view that photo. And I have no idea what's happening. Okay. Anybody have any idea what that is? That's crazy. Literally, I have no idea what that is. I'm pressing the button to explore again, and that's just weird. I previously had this app. I'm using it on another phone. I may have the beta version of the ION360U app rather than having the current version. So, bad on me for not trying to reload from scratch. I'll try one more time. No, this is what I'm seeing. So I'll reach out to the company. I'm sure I'm probably using a earlier version of the app, a beta version, and it's just simply not compatible with this phone. So that's too bad, and I'll just have to ask them. But I thought I'd at least give you kind of a tour of what the phone is supposed to do. So had it been working, what would have happened? And I know that many members of, for that matter, most of us probably in the We Get Around Network Forum are shooting real estate. So probably from your perspective is, how does this kind of fit into real estate? And then what other kind of uses are? But the three menus that I have, in fact, let me go back. I'm going to go back to my content. I have something that's lit up. It says hardware update. The battery of the phone or camera is too low. Please charge first. So certainly that what I was seeing, you're supposed, I'm sure if I read the instructions, it probably says charge your phone first before attempting to use it. So what I want to show you is first is on my content, that kind of call it the home screen. There's a button in the bottom right that is like an icon of a camera. So when I press that, I then have three options: photo, video, and stream. So if I go into photo, that's pretty straightforward. Just hit the button, boom, and presumably I've taken a 360. And then there's an option for video. I think one of the things that's kind of, about this camera, it's one of these 4K cameras. So that's kind of like, I would say, is the minimum threshold today if you're buying a 360 one-click camera. Incidentally, this is $300 if you order the ION 360.com site. So $300 phone. And there's three things you can do this with this. Take a photo, take video, and stream, it says. So that's live stream. And then when you press the button, I'm sure it's going to give me a menu for which stream do I want to stream to. So it says Facebook, and I'm going to select Facebook and then hit next. And because I've already pre-connected my Facebook account and my YouTube account, it's just asking me for a title. So we will do WGAN TV demo of ION 360 iOS ION for the camera. So let me get that right. ION 360U. Okay, so it's asking me, and then it says start stream. But actually, before I start stream, I want to put it on a tripod so that I'm not driving people nuts here. So let's see if I can turn this around. In fact, let me put the phone down for a minute and just explain what I have here, because I think this is kind of, helpful. So I have my standard tripod, and connected to my standard tripod is I have a selfie pole, and this happens to be a professional grade selfie pole. Let's see, boom, and it connects with that larger mount, that professional mount, and I can adjust the height here. And we pull this up, and then you say, well, what is that that's on your, well, I knew how the shape of this phone, and you say, well, how do I put this on a tripod? I know when I got the beta version, I asked the manufacturer, I said, could you please put a mount in there, because I'd prefer just to attach this, directly to my phone like that. To me, that would be a home run, because I don't want all this other stuff sticking out. But in any event, so anyway, going back to this little thing here, this is like a miracle. This kind of stretches to whatever kind of width of your phone. This is kind of a ball joint here. So, and then I can tighten the ball joint, and then I can screw this on top of the tripod. So what I'm trying to say is that I can change the angle which way I want. And that is really tremendously helpful. So I'm going to put this on top of the tripod. Let's see, here we go. Must be fan mail coming in. I hear my email going off. Now we got thousands and thousands of viewers just hanging on my every word here. Okay, so that's kind of sorta. Does that feel okay? So I'm gonna make sure it's tight. I got, between having the camera and my phone, I guess that's probably about $1,000. So I want to make sure that I don't drop my phone and drop the camera. So I think I got that pretty good. And I think I have it, I still want to get it so that it's maybe it's a different spot. Yeah, I'm going to put it over here. We'll put that in camera range and a little bit lower. Okay, I got that. So maybe that's a height that's okay. Then I am going to kind of snap it in place, and I am going to tighten the ball joints some more. Okay, and then I'll turn it a little bit, just kind of juggling with my chair. Okay, good. So you can see I put in the title, and I'm going to take a sip of water, and we'll hit start. Start stream, and let's see what's happening here. So I am now streaming on Facebook, and I'm going to just take a look at Facebook and see if I actually see it there. Make sure my sound is turned off so I don't get a kind of feedback loop. So Facebook. Okay, and then go into my stream here. And, voila, isn't that magical? So there, see if I can move the picture. I'm actually, this is where I want to move the picture, right? Okay. And there I am. Okay, so that's pretty cool. It's probably out of sync. It's probably a little bit of a delay, not too much of a delay. So let's see, if I raise my hand, 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000, 6, 1,000, 7, 1,000, 8, 1,000, 9, 1,000, 10, 1,000. So it seems like maybe a 10-second delay. And I think I actually demonstrated something interesting, which is kind of like if I move myself, in fact, let's go like this. And so now I am on the seam of the camera. I could imagine that I'm going to be badly stitched. So you can see that I'm badly stitched. In fact, I think what I'll do is, I don't see what the status is. So I actually have it set to private, and I'm going to go ahead and set it to public. So if you want to check this out, if you happen to be watching live, you can see this bad stitch because I'm so close to the camera. So if you simply go to search Facebook for Dan Smigrod, you'll find this. So for any of my peeps on Facebook, I'm demonstrating the ION360U one-click camera. Let's see if I have the box to say this is the it gets a little bit confusing here with my two screens, but this is the camera that I'm just unboxing and talking about, if you care. ION360. This is the U version. Not sure why the U is not on there. And so I'm just kind of demonstrating, and we'll see how far back I need to go in order for me to look okay, because there's two fisheye lenses on this camera, and I'm just going to guess that I probably have to be someplace about here before I look okay in the Facebook video. So I think that's something to keep in mind while you're doing a 360 video, is if you have anything that's critical. In fact, when I put my hands here, you'll probably even see even more bad stitching. Is just as long as you keep stuff at a distance on the edges, you should be fine. And then make sure the sweet spot of what you want to do, I guess that would be me. So you want to have the sweet spot be directly right on, spot on the camera. So so anyway, let me tell you just kind of a little bit more about this 360 camera. The ION360U, you're able to do three things with it: take photos, take videos, and live stream. So on live stream, you have two options. One is live streaming to Facebook, excuse me, and the other is live streaming to YouTube. At the moment, those are the only two options, but I could imagine that over time that there will be, here I am, I'm right on the edge of the camera again. So I don't know where should I be, so you can see me in both shots without me being kind of deformed in the edge of the camera. Anyway, so presently there's two ways to live stream, one to Facebook, one to YouTube. And I imagine that there'll just be firmware updates, app updates, whatever is involved, and there'll be yet more options. But frankly, I'm really thrilled just having YouTube and Facebook as a way to live stream. What else can I tell you about live streaming? What I should say is it just works, and it works like magic, and that can't be overestimated. I'd just give you an example. Is I've been through a lot of 360 one-click cameras. I've had 3 different Ricoh Theta cameras. I've had a bubble camera, a Panono, a 360, an Insta360 Air, Insta360 Nano, an Insta360 One. I'm probably leaving out some cameras, but if you've been following along on the We Get Around Network forum for a while, you know that there was a time where I was aggressively promoting the Ricoh Theta S, because that was really the best camera, at the time. And there are a lot of reasons why it might still make sense to get a Ricoh Theta S. But I'll tell you, one of the things that was completely frustrating to me was live streaming. I had to watch an 8 or 10 minute video on how to live stream with the Ricoh Theta, and I had to read, I think, a 10-page documentation that one of the users of the camera had put together. Suffice to say, I never live stream with the Ricoh, and every other camera since then, including the Insta360 cameras, this camera, it just works, and it's like how you would expect it. You would just simply press a button that says live stream, and then it would likely ask you, well, where do you want to live stream to? And you say Facebook or YouTube, and then at some point you might say, it might say, okay, please enter your login credentials so that you have permission to stream from the 360 camera to Facebook. And then going forward, it would just save that. And then when you go to live stream, it's going to kind of it's just going to work. You're going to press the button, say Facebook or YouTube, and boom, you're up and running live streaming. So if you are you're a Matterport service provider, you're using some other camera, I just really encourage you to play with these 360 cameras. It may not be the ideal right solution for you today, but as soon as you start using a camera like this, you'll think of all kinds of interesting and useful ways that you can actually make money with it. For $300, it's hard to go wrong. I mean, this is doing way more than my camera gear a couple years ago, $3,500, some training expertise to use it. And here you have a camera for $300. You press live stream, and boom, you're live streaming. So it's pretty crazy. Incidentally, if you're watching this on Facebook, I'm actually on a television show, which is WGAN-TV. We are live at 5. That's our Monday through Friday live show. I'm the founder of the We Get Around Network Forum, a community of 10,000 plus 3D, VR, 360 photographers, Google Street View photographers, Matterport photographers. It's a global community. And, we take a look at different camera and gear and stuff. The manufacturer of this camera, the ION360, sent it to me for free, said, see what you think, and hope you're right about it. Hope you do a video or something. So, so while I am on the live show, we get around networkforum.com, we are also live streaming to Facebook with this camera here. So anyway, just trying to give you context, was we actually now have two different audiences. The two people that follow me on Facebook, which doesn't include my wife, because she rarely follows me on Facebook. So maybe the two people that maybe will give me thumbs up, send me a heart or something on Facebook, and then those in the We Get Around Network Forum community. So anyway, that's kind of the live streaming. The second part is video. And I want to say it's 4K video. The quality is what I would consider probably the minimum level of quality, and for a $300 camera. And I'm perfectly happy with 300 with 4K. And then the third piece is shooting 360 photospheres. And that's relatively easy. I did not see, excuse me, I did not see a setting for HDR, and I could be wrong on this. In fact, let me see if I can just take a look at some of the settings. Oh, if I go to settings, I'll probably mess this up or something, but let's see what we've got going on here. Yeah, no, I actually, I don't see what I'm looking for, but I think while I'm doing Facebook, that's interesting. There's a flying saucer in the show. Maybe if I move the light, that'll change it some. Okay, now I only have half a flying saucer. So let's see. Yeah, I like that. I got a halo on top of me. See, like dodging something. It's the light. let's go push this here, and maybe that won't be such a crazy problem. Well, I tell you what, we'll end the Facebook Live feed. Thanks all for watching, and we'll talk on the WGAN forum a little bit more. Look at that, I had 5 likes. Can you imagine that somebody's tuning in and watching that? Okay, so it says share. I'm going to hit share. Gee, let me come back here, and I'm going to hit Facebook and see if I can share that on Facebook, and I will say test. Let's see if I can spell that right. And this is probably a good thing to see the seam of the picture probably. It says test, and I have that set to public, and I'm going to hit post. Okay, so posted. So that's good. And if you want to take a look at the video we just shot, if you go to Facebook and you type in Dan Smigrod, DAN-SMIGROD, then you can take a look at that video that we just shot. In fact, let's go see if I can go over to Facebook, back to my profile, maybe to my news feed. There it is. Went a little bit too quick. And look at that. There's our, I hope you can see that okay. There's our 360. And this is actually in the We Get Around Network office at Atlanta Tech Village in the heart of Buckhead. And so just by way of background, there's 1,100 of us, geeky people from 300 companies doing kind of interesting stuff. Anyway, that's the video. And let's see, what else can I show you? I think, I kind of like to take a look at it on my iPhone and see if I have the gyro effect, if that's actually kind of honored by iPhone. I don't know if that is or not. So anyway, so let's go back to this window. And then what I was really interested in is, do I have, it says go to, so I've already shared. Let's go to my content. This is back to my content, and I can see my content. But what I was really curious about was on photo, do I have any kind of control? Sorry, I'm trying to walk and talk at the same time. This is a little bit of a challenge. So if I go into photo and then take a photo, so it just took a photo. Let's see if I still have that problem. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that exciting? I have no idea what's causing that. If you know what's causing that, please do post in the We Get Around Network forum when I post this video and tell me what that is. So it's like artwork, but I don't think it's intended. I think it's the incompatibility of perhaps the ION360U app that I loaded for the beta version of the physical hardware, and now I actually have the actual live thing. So I'm guessing that's what it is. I'll post in the forum once I find out an answer on that. But what I actually wanted to check was, do I have any control? Yeah, so here's good. So hopefully you can see this, is I do have some control over some of the settings, and let's take a look at that. So I have white balance. My options are auto, incandescent, fluorescent, daylight, cloudy. Okay, let's leave it back on auto. And then on exposure, this is interesting because I consider this kind of gobbledygook here. This is, I'm sure it means something to somebody, that it's -1 or -1.67 or 2. I think in this case, the techs won out on the conversation with the marketing people on, what would make sense. That is really bizarre to me. Really bizarre. Okay, so I've lightened up you can see that I've lightened up the picture there. So I'm going to go see, maybe there's something on exposure. Whoops, let's leave that there. That is there something that's at 0? Yeah. So I'm going to leave it at 0. I guess what I would have expected would just be a slide. I think this one has been overthought about, +1, +2 on lighting. I just think it would have been a slide, and the slide would have let me reset to 0. So I just want to move my slide and watch my picture. This, +0 stuff, I just think is overly complex for for no reason. What I'm looking for is f-stop, shutter speed, ISO, and I may not have that on this camera. So that, as a photographer, that would disappoint me. And, and I can understand this camera is probably not designed for me. It's really designed, if you look at all the advertising and promotion for ION360U, it's designed for, somebody a little bit younger than me, maybe 5 years younger than me, somebody that's like 22, 21, and they're going to a rock concert, they're going to a life event, they're going to a wedding, and they're just holding the phone up, literally just holding it up. They don't care about, what the picture looks like, down here. They're just happy to take the camera and, and just, pull it out and use it. But for me, I would like to have some more control over the phone. Hey, Jair. So so that's kind of disappointing. There's no ISO, f-stop, shutter speed. But again, that's probably, not this camera. If there was just one other feature, maybe to have the HDR on it, I think that would be really so let me just kind of give you a comparison. I'm using, in fact, let me just pull it out for a second. Just take 1 second. See you tomorrow. So this happens to be the ION. Excuse me. This is the Insta360 one camera. And what I like, and incidentally, the manufacturer of this camera sent me this one, no charge too, asked me about it. And I think, what I liked on this one as a photographer is that I do have control of ISO, f-stop, shutter speed, white balance, any and everything that you want. And you'll notice that right at the bottom, there's a little place to put it on the tripod. So I just, I like that better in terms of all this. In fact, let me just, this happens to be a little holder for it. So I'm going to put it in here for a second. And then I'm going to take this off, take the phone off for a second. And then I'm going to take the adapter, the phone holder off. And so I just wanted to do this for you, is just kind of put that on. And so again, I'm shooting real estate, and I really want to minimize the stuff that's below the camera, so that if I'm doing a patch, I just have a little bit to do, and I don't have to take into account something that's maybe a little bit, larger. So I'll put this away for the moment. So when I bring this back, that's what I was hoping for. It is pretty heavy, and I can imagine the torque on this would be a little bit crazy if they were trying to do it. But that's what I would have preferred, was just to be able to mount it, screw in just like that. So anyway, let me put this aside. I do have some other things to share with you about this phone. And incidentally, if you're just tuning in, I'm Dan Smigrod. I'm the founder of the We Get Around Network Forum. Today is Wednesday, November 15th, 2017. You're watching WGAN-TV live at 5, and I'm working on a demo of the ION360U. We're kind of doing an unboxing, and I went a little bit past the unboxing portion. So the question is, what do I carry with me? And so I want to say that if I take the camera off and I put it in the case, that this is a good thing. So if I'm gonna, let's actually put it in the case, because I have a comment about the case I wanted to share with you. Okay. I probably didn't talk and walk at the same time. It'd be okay. So anyway, so what I like about this is this will fit in my pocket. That's really a good thing. What I would like better on the back, if there was a belt strap, and I could just put this on my belt and carry it there, because I'd rather carry it on my belt than my pocket. And I think maybe another solution would be if there was perhaps a chain that was attached to this. Many of us today have carabiners or something, and I would have liked a loop. A loop on this would have been perfect. Even better if it was sort of like a grommet loop as opposed to a cloth loop that came off, but a grommet loop, because I would much rather carry this on my keychain, which I put on my belt. So I think for the ION 360 team, this is good. I'll give you like a B, but I think the A or the A plus is figuring out. And I frankly, I would add 3 things. I would add the belt loop. I would add a loop that comes off, and I'd add a grommet that lets a person attach it to this. And, if you everybody seems to be walking around with carabiners, today. So I'm really surprised on that. Now, what I like about this is that I now have not only a case that's protective of for my iPhone, but it is actually a battery that I can use to charge my phone. So let's try this now. I saw that I think I had some charge into the device, and if I press that, then I don't know if you heard that, but I could hear a sound, and I want to say that sound, maybe not. Let me press it again. Yeah. So that's weird. It's not working like I would have expected. So if I hold it in, I could see for a second that it was charging my phone. And maybe this is a feature where this battery is safe to put on my iPhone 8 Plus, but actually will not charge my phone. And so I'll actually need to check with the manufacturer. So I think we got 2 questions for them, and 1 recommendation on the case is, will this charge my iPhone? Because if it doesn't charge my iPhone, then I'll just be depressed because I'm carrying something that's heavier than my light case here. If I had the benefit of the charging, I think then that I'd be really excited about it because it's a nice, somewhat of a slim factor. But I know it is adding some weight, not a huge amount of weight. But I think the trade-off is if I had a battery charging. But I think what they've solved on this, kind of put this on here, is this you can carry with you separately in your pocket, in your purse, in your bag. Hopefully at some point a solution related to a carabiner or a belt loop, and that you always have the attachment with you. And I'm not sure about when I first I've tried different 360s. So to just give you a contrast, if you're shooting with the Ricoh Theta S camera, for example, all the data is stored on the camera, and in order to in your workflow, you have to process the video within the camera and then transfer it to your camera or to your laptop, or you got to move your file to your laptop and then process on your computer or whatever. So it's kind of an extra step. And I think what I've come to the conclusion that I like about the 360 cameras that use the phone as the storage device, it kind of means that you can immediately play back a video, or you can play back a photo instantly on the device. And since we already all know how to share stuff, and you'll have a little share icon says you want to share on YouTube or Facebook, that it kind of solves that problem of, I don't want to shoot 360 photos and 360 videos, and I want to share 360 photos and 360 video. And when you're using the camera as the storage device, it now makes it super easy and super fast to share content, and I think that's a huge plus. What else can I tell you? So what I hope to do is I am actually traveling this weekend, and the geeky me is that I would want to take pictures in my hotel room before we kind of mess up the hotel room, and then take it with me in sightseeing. And I do need to find out if the app is going to be, do I need to reload the app? I'll probably do that anyway, but I really do need to check with the manufacturer and find out what those funky images were. So anyway, I hope you found this helpful or interesting. If you missed any of it, you want to play it back, I know I'll want to play it for my wife. She'll hang on every word. So I think she'd say, hey, unbox video can't be more than 2 minutes, not 50 minutes. So in any event, I'm going to go ahead and we'll save this video. We'll publish it in the We Get Around Network Forum. If you happen to be watching on YouTube, it's WeGetAroundNetworkForum.com. You'll be able to see this video. If you want to see what I was live streaming on Facebook, again, it's Dan Smigrod, DAN SMIGROD on Facebook. Feel free to leave a comment if you'd like. And thanks for tuning in to WGAN TV Live at 5. So coming up tomorrow, again, on WGAN TV Live at 5, we're going to have the co-founder of iGuide Camera System. Kevin's going to join us. And I think if you're thinking about buying a Matterport camera, this might be a really good program to watch. There's more than 70 different camera solutions today. iGuide, if you're a real estate photographer, this is probably one of the top 5 solutions that you want to take a look at when you're thinking about getting Matterport. And if you watch the iGuide camera system program tomorrow on WGAN TV Live at 5, that might help you say, oh, no, Matterport's the right solution for me. I'll go get that. Or no, I see there's an alternative and I'm interested in that. So I'm particularly interested in hearing from Kevin to compare iGuide camera system to the Matterport camera and the Matterport platform. I don't know if he'll do that or if he'll just speak to the strengths, but I'll do my best to say, and how does that compare, and where does iGuide camera system excel? Anyway, I think that's enough for today. Thanks for tuning in to the We Get Around Network Forum, WGAN TV Live at 5, and I thank you for being a We Get Around Network Forum member, and hope to see it tomorrow, Thursday, for Kevin with the iGuide camera system. Good night.